I saw this report about the Boston Celtics plans this offseason. Obviously, Ime Udoka coached there for a season. Per Shams Charania, the Celtics are willing to listen to trade offers for two of their key players. One of them is Jaylen Brown, who just had knee surgery yesterday. But Shams brought up another interesting name. Are teams making big offers and calling about Jaylen Brown and Derrick White? 100%. The Celtics prefer not to trade them, from my understanding. But listen, if they get a big offer, they have to look at everything. And I think they're going to get, offers on the three guys that they're focused on. They're going to get offers potentially on Derrick White and Jaylen Brown. And I think between now and the draft and free agency, they're going to evaluate what makes sense from a value perspective. Jaylen Brown would cost the Rockets the most. Derrick White, though, who I think is the master of doing all the little things, whether it's handling the ball, hitting a clutch three, being an absolute pest defensively. He checks a lot of boxes, and his consistency is actually something that Jason Tatum probably wishes that he had. I trust on the Celtics, as a Celtics fan, two players more than anyone, Jaylen Brown and Derrick White. After that, to a degree, Jason Tatum, but it sort of depends on the night, even though he's probably more talented than both of those two guys. Because the Celtics have new ownership, there's definitely a chance that they break things up, that they look at themselves in the mirror and say, do we really want to pay the luxury tax with all these huge contracts that we have on the books? Kristaps Porzingis is a rather unmovable contract, so they're probably going to have to move someone that they don't really want to move. Yeah. And if I'm the Rockets, of all those guys, while I'm a huge Jaylen Brown fan, I think that Derrick White makes the most sense because at this moment in time, do we really believe that next year Reed Shepherd is going to be all of the things that you believed he could be with the third overall pick, considering how little he played this past season? Like, maybe he comes back, he's bigger, he's faster, he's stronger after one off season, but he has very limited experience. Is he going to be quick with decisions? Is his ball handling going to be immaculate? Is he going to be consistent as a shooter in spite of his size? I don't know. I don't know the answer to all of those things, but I would lean towards no as the answer to all of those things, even if he was the third overall pick. Not me calling him a bust.
It's just hard to do. It's hard to play point guard in the NBA.
Right. And Sean, he's a complete unknown at this moment in time.
Yeah, I think that White would be a guy who, I mean, honestly, on most teams, you could just plop him in and he makes your team better. Like, he is such a, I guess, versatile and, like you said, consistent piece where he can shoot, he can handle the ball, but he can also play off ball, and he can play defense probably 1 through 3 easily, and then maybe some 4s he can play. And he's the guy who would be at home in the finals that you're watching right now. Like, he is a that type of player where he is intense. He's going to pick guys up full court, and on offense, he would feel comfortable bringing the ball up against someone, picking him up full court. He would add a steady hand to a team that needs a steady hand on offense. So I'm with you. I think White would be great for this team. It's hard. It's hard to me for any of these Celtics trades just because I don't know exactly what they want, because this isn't a classic, like, we're trading good players because we're going into a rebuild. Like, in theory, they can still make the playoffs next year. Like, depending on who they trade, they can make the playoffs next year.
Yeah.
And then when Tatum comes back, they're thinking of themselves back as finals contenders. So you do need someone who's, I would assume, a young player who they think they can develop pretty quickly into being ready for prime time when Tatum comes back. Who is that? Is that Jabari Smith, Jalen Green, Tari Eason? Like, is it that kind of guy? Because I don't think it's going to be Reed Shepherd and Whitmore.
It's Şengün, or it's not Jalen Green. I don't think the Celtics are going to look at him like that and say it's just too volatile with him on a night to night basis. I think they'll look at Şengün and say, hey, we can get the absolute most out of him. That is definitely the thing that they're going to be lacking fairly soon with Al Horford getting up there in age. And I don't know what the hell's up with Kristaps Porzingis, but I feel like that whatever.
Not
he's
a
coming
long. I
back
wouldn't
from.
be betting on him long term.
No,
I'll
nor
say
would
that.
I. Nor would
Or
I.
short term. Really.
Right. And I wonder what that illness actually is. But I mean, goodness gracious, whatever the hell it is,
Yeah.
he's just a shell of himself.
Yeah, he's Lyme disease or something.
Yeah,
Like he
it's
has some
something
like
wild.
weird.
Right. I don't think they even know what it is. So it's between, as you said, Jabari Smith and Şengün. And I think Smith at this moment in time, just how easily he was kind of phased out for Amin Thompson after he got hurt. I think that's probably what the Celtics are looking at. And are
Yeah.
you willing to trade a Şengün for someone like a Derrick White? I don't know that the Rockets should be willing to do that. That's definitely something you're dragging your feet over. But I think of all of the targets that are out there right now that are realistic with upside, that do the things that you definitely were missing this past year, I think that White checks the most boxes and is probably, outside of Durant, the most affordable to get.
Yeah, I think he's like the I guess best value. Like the way we think of it, of the best bang for your buck, where it's not going to be a Giannis trade or a hypothetical like Booker trade or even a Jaylen Brown trade, where you're going to give up a ton of pieces. You're going to give up most of your asset war chest to get this guy. It's going to be a smaller move. Where, like I said, it probably would be a couple players and a pick or two. Like, if you could do it for Dylan Brooks, Jabari Smith, and 2 first-round picks, like, boom, send it in. Like it's that kind of level. I mean, it's probably going to be more than that, but it's in that range rather than the like Milwaukee Bucks, like we want everything kind of thing.
Yeah. As far as Kevin Durant, staying on big game hunting.
Yeah.
The Suns and Kevin Durant's business partner are discussing scenarios. God, what an insufferable line.
Is it Rich Kleiman?
Rich Kleiman, boardroom CEO Rich Kleiman, have met multiple times with the Phoenix Suns over the past week, and they're sifting through trade scenarios, working together on potential destinations. Rockets, Spurs, Heat, Timberwolves, Knicks are the headline possibilities. Several wild card suitors have made inquiries in the past 7 to 10 days as well.
Shout to the baseball offseason with mystery teams.
Right.
Like, we can list, 5 teams, but then also there's some mystery teams out there that we're not going to name.
They will reveal themselves after the fact, and they will be funny. One of them will definitely be the Washington Wizards.
Yeah, Orlando.
Yeah. Well, Orlando at the very least, like Orlando has something. It's going to be some bum-ass team that's like, yeah, we also were thinking about it. It's like, yeah, but Durant wasn't thinking about
Chicago
you, babe.
Bulls are very interested.
Yeah. Stuff like that.